Welcome to the Multiplying Binomials video. I'm going to go through what we talked about yesterday and just remind you of some of the things we talked about as far as multiplying binomials. I want to remind you what a binomial is, and that's a polynomial with two terms. And you remember that terms are the part of a polynomial that are being added together. So this really means two things added together. So anytime you have two things adding together, you have a binomial, whether it's y plus x, xyz plus 10, or x squared plus 2. Those are all binomials. Generally, we express that we want to multiply two binomials by writing them next to each other in parentheses. For example, x plus 1 times x minus 4. And now what these parentheses mean is everything in this parenthesis is going to multiply everything in this parenthesis. I'm going to do this multiplication by using a box diagram, just so I can keep track of everything. I'm going to put x plus 1 on top, and x minus 4 on the bottom. And I want you to notice I kept that minus sign next to the 4, and that's going to be important for deciding whether what's in the box is positive or negative. So now I need to start filling in my box. I'm going to start with the box in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to look at the column and the row. So look at this column and this row. That means I'm working on this box, and I'm going to have to multiply x and x together. Let's clear some of that off. And x times x is going to be x squared. Now I move on to another box. Look at the row and the column. So I'm going to multiply x and 1. I'm going to multiply 1 and x. 1 times x is just going to be x. Again, I'm going to look at the row and the column. And here I have x times negative 4. X and negative 4. X times negative 4 is just negative 4x. Again, I'm going to look at the column and the row. I see I have 1 and negative 4. 1 times negative 4 is just negative 4. Now that I've filled in everything in the box, I'm going to add everything together. I end up with x squared plus x minus 4x minus 4. And I notice that I have some like terms, x and minus 4x. And so I need to figure out what is x minus 4x. I need to start off by remembering that x is the same as 1x. Those mean the same thing. There's an invisible 1 in front of the x. So if I have 1x and then I take away 4 more x's, that means I'm going to have negative 3x. I have no like terms with negative 4 and no like terms with x squared. So my final answer would be x squared minus 3x minus 4.